Gentlemen, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is officially called to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Eads. Present. Trustee Lilly. Trustee Dunlap. Present. Trustee Blakey.
Present.
Trustee Clark. Present. Trustee Marshall.
Present.
Is there anyone here tonight that is interested in addressing the board? If so, you may step forward now. All right, we'll move on. Is there a motion to approve the minutes dated May 24th, 2022?
So moved.
Motion by Clark, is it support? Supported by Dunlap? Roll call?
Eads.
Yes.
Dunlap.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries. Is there a motion to table the minutes dated June 14th, 2022?
So moved.
Motion by Clark,
Supported.
supported by Eves. Roll call?
Eads.
Yes.
Dunlap.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries. We'll now move on to our standing committee reports, beginning with Public Works. Trustee Dunlap.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a reminder that the chipper is back up and working again, and it's on schedule, but only leaves or branches and trees. Nothing else will be taken by the chipper. The pond in Haven Estates, the algae was treated. It'll take about 4 weeks for it to be finished. The parks close at dusk here in Lynwood. Signs will be put up to remind people, and it will be enforced that the parks are closed at dusk. And that's the end of my report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Economic Development, Trustee Blakey.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a couple of items under economic development. I just want to thank all of our residents for supporting our local businesses. As usual, I always state the more we can support our local businesses, the more we can become a strong village. So thank you. And then a special thanks to Mays Q House and Lynwood Mobile for all of their support for the recent village events that we've put on. Their contributions are greatly appreciated. That's all I have for economic development. I'm ready to move on to community affairs.
Okay.
Community affairs, I want to thank all the residents who have supported our most recent events, the 5K walk that happened on June 4th, the Thursday morning walks that happen every Thursday morning at 6 a.m. in Lakeview Park. Our summer craft fair, I want to thank everyone for participating in that. A very special thank to my colleague, Trustee Eves. Trustee Eves took it upon herself to take the lead on the summer craft fair that happened on June 18th and 19th. She was the first person out there and the last person to leave, and so I want to thank her for that. She was able to raise a great deal of money for our scholarship fund. And it was a tremendous effort on her part. So thank you, Trustee Eves. And then Father's Day Food Truck Festival. Thank all of you all for that, for attending that and also participating and supporting it. And then also Linvinia, which happened this past Saturday on June 25th. Wanted to update everyone on our Independence Day Parade that is coming up on this coming Saturday. We want everyone to come out of their homes and to support us and wave to us as we go by. This is a parade. This is our largest parade that we do every year, and that's going to happen this coming Saturday. You'll hear all of the sirens and you'll see the police cars and the fire engines and that sort of thing. So want to make sure that we support that as a village. There's a PACE shelter concern that has come across my desk, and I just wanted to give a little bit of clarity about that. Mayor Curry and I will attend a meeting over in Wellington Court on this coming Thursday, but I wanted to give some clarity about a couple of things. First, all of the things that we present to the village and that come before this board, they're all data driven, meaning we have data for the reasons why we're doing whatever we're doing. What the proposal was for us to create and to establish PACE shelters up and down Torrance Avenue. We do not, it doesn't look good, it's not safe for our members of our village to just stand on the side of the road waiting for a PACE bus. It's very dangerous. When you have a PACE shelter, at least these people can, people that are going to be using the PACE shelter, PACE buses, they can have a shelter in which to sit or to stand to wait on the bus, as opposed to literally standing on the side of the road up against the railing. There's been some concern that the PACE shelter would bring some levels of heightened crime, prostitution, and some other things. We don't have any data to support that. If anyone else has data to support that, we'd be open to looking at that. The third thing is the only reason why Wellington Court was mentioned in the context of us placing or having a PACE shelter placed at 201st and Torrance is because that's where the infrastructure resides. Torrance Avenue is a state a boulevard or street. We don't have anything to do with it. The state has to be in cahoots with us. We have to request from the state and from PACE to put that there. And the only reason why it's going there first is because 201st and Torrance is where the infrastructure, the sidewalks and the grass already exist. We're already talking to the Cook County Transportation Board about establishing some additional infrastructure so that we can do it on the opposite sides of the street as well. But these are things that we will address at the meeting that the mayor and I will attend on Thursday. But I just wanted everyone to understand that our efforts from a board perspective are always data-driven and data-supported. And so if there's data to support any rise in crime or prostitution or what have you, I'd appreciate it if someone could bring that to our attention. And that's all. Oh, no, that's not all I have, Mayor. I have one more thing. The other thing that we're doing, and I've mentioned this before, is we're establishing subdivision liaisons. The only one that is outstanding at this point is Ombre Estates and Spring Meadows. We have the Meadows, we have Sand Ridge Estates, Wellington Court, Paradise Park, Alpine Village, Sunstead Farms, Lake Lynwood, and Oakwood Manor and Hateman Estates. We have those already. We just need the ones that I mentioned. So if you're interested in doing that, being a liaison, you can contact me. These liaisons will basically be a communication source for us so that we can get that information to the liaisons, and then the liaisons can disseminate that information throughout their subdivisions. Yes.
I have a question. So is there any way that people, so that they'll know what subdivision they're in? Because I do know where Wellington Court and Haven State, theirs are outstanding. But other people have asked me what subdivision they're in. Can you put out boundaries for, say, for example, the Meadows is this, and Paradise Park?
Sure.
Those kind of things. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, we can make sure that gets on our website. Thank you for that. And then just wanted to highlight the upcoming events that we have. As I mentioned, we have the Lynwood Parade that is happening on this coming Saturday. Movie nights, the next one is going to be on July the 8th. The next Linbinia is going to be on July 23rd. We have a White Sox game on July 29th, Six Flags on August 5th, and then Lynwood Fest on August the 13th. And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you. We will skip on planning and zoning. Trustee Lilly is not with us. Would someone like to read ordinances and resolutions in his place today? Trustee Marshall.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like a motion for resolution 22-23, a second read, action taken, a resolution to accept planning technical assistance services delivered by the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, which is also known as CMAP.
Second.
Some motion by Marshall, supported by Clark. Attorney Boyle.
Yes, good evening, everyone. You previously reviewed this at your last meeting, and you also saw CMAP's presentation on the CMAP program and the prerequisite that you have this resolution in place, which essentially adopts a CMAP memorandum of understanding. I've looked through the memorandum. It seems legally sufficient, doesn't present any untoward risks to the village, and it seems like a good program. So you guys can decide it from there.
All right, roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Dunlap.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries. I want to thank the board for approving that resolution. This is going to get us started with our one-year feasibility study, which is going to lead to the expansion of sidewalks, bike paths, walking paths, and road improvements. And this feasibility study is of no cost to the village of Lynwood, so thank you.
Also like to make a motion on ordinance 22-25, first read, no action taken. An ordinance to place a question of public policy on the November 8, 2022 ballot requesting legal voters in the village of Lynwood to decide whether the village should adopt term limits for their elected officials.
Just a motion, is it supported?
Support.
Motion by Marshall, supported by Eves. Attorney Boyle?
Yes, actually, this is ordinance 22-24. The background on this ordinance is that you have to go back to the March 2020 general primary election. On the ballot at that election was a question as to, for the residents of the village to answer as to whether they would support term limits for the village president, trustees, and certain elected officials. That public question, that referendum passed back in March of 2020, and it passed rather significantly. About 81% of the people that voted on it voted in favor of imposing a term limit. Since the results of that election occurred, there has been no amendment of the village's code of ordinances, which doesn't stop the referendum from being effective because it was put on the ballot as a binding referendum. Okay? So as you sit here tonight, you operate under term limits no more than 2 consecutive terms. Okay? The the ordinance that's coming to you tonight is seeking a follow-up referendum to inquire as to whether the residents would support a term limit of 4 consecutive terms. The basis for bringing this up is basically the long-term goals that the trustees and the villages that have been established over the last year or so look to be rather long-term, look to be things that may take some time to accomplish. You have some other issues that you've been tackling that may take a longer time period to accomplish as well, to the point that it's reasonable to say that it may be more than the 2 consecutive terms that is the current limit that is in place. So passing this ordinance would place the question of whether the residents would support that going to 4 consecutive terms on the ballot of the November 8th election. That would have to be submitted to the county clerk and certified by August, really, in order to have that, in order to be able to make that ballot. So that's what's in front of you.
Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Dunlap.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, Attorney Boyle.
And lastly, I'd like to make a motion on the appropriation ordinance 22-26. First read, no action taken. An ordinance pursuant to section 2-748 of the Code of Ordinances of the Village, which requires that the Board of Trustees, within the first quarter of each fiscal year, pass an annual appropriation bill appropriating the sum of money as may be deemed necessary to defray all necessary expenses and liabilities of the village.
There's a motion. Is it supported?
Supported.
Motion by Marshall, supported by Eves. Attorney Boyle?
Yes, this ordinance is a requirement under the Illinois Municipal Code as well as your Code of Ordinances. As stated in the recital, generally a municipality needs to adopt its appropriation ordinance by the end of its first fiscal quarter each fiscal year. Your fiscal year starts May 1st, so the end of your first fiscal quarter is the end of July. Okay. The municipal code requires that the ordinance be made available for public inspection prior to the time that the trustees take action to adopt it. So this draft, assuming approval on first reading, would be made available thereafter in Village Hall for that purpose. There will also need to be a public hearing on the approval of the appropriation ordinance. That could take place at the same time, not at the same time, but at the same meeting that you take second reading and a vote on whether to adopt the ordinance. Okay? So that notice will hopefully be able to make the paper in time so that you can have the second reading of this ordinance on the agenda for your July 12th meeting. Okay? But it is required by law, and like I said, there will be an opportunity for those that wish to take advantage of it to review the draft of the ordinance, and there will be a public hearing on it before the trustees act.
Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Dunlap.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries.
That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Health and Wellness, Trustee Clark.
Okay, so Health and Wellness, June. This is a very lengthy month, so I'm going to start with COVID first. COVID in South Suburban Cook County is back at medium risk. As of June 28th, there are 13 reported COVID cases. As you remember, the last meeting, there were 14, so that's a total of 27 for the month of June. But the good news is Lynwood is now at 50% of all residents having at least 2 vaccines, and we're up in the 69 percentile for those having 1. So if you still need a vaccine, please call the Department of Public Health at 833-308-1988, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. There is a national 988 number, kind of like the 911 number. For the this new national 3-digit number is for crisis response and mental health crisis. The number will go live around July 16th. It is to be used for mental health crises like suicide prevention, someone having a mental break, or anything like that. 911 should still be used for other emergencies. This is provided by Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration, SAMHSA. I'm going to mention Roe versus Wade since that was overturned. I just want to highlight that there is a greater access for reproductive health services. While termination services are still covered under the state of Illinois, Medicaid plans and other insurances may not cover them. But please note, this is a freedom of choice state here in Illinois. Illinois state law affirmatively provides a right for reproductive health care, including termination or maternity care. Again, the state ensures access to termination services. If you need assistance providing a provider for termination services, you can contact the Illinois Department of Health Care and Family Services at the benefit hotline 1-866-468-7543, option number 4. Now June, Health Awareness Month is Alzheimer's Awareness, National Accordion Awareness, National Adopt a Cat, National Candy Month, Camping Month, Caribbean American Month, Cooking Month, Country Cooking Month, Dairy Month, Fresh Fruit and Vegetables, Give a Bunch of Balloons Month, Great Outdoors Month, Headache and Migraine Awareness, HIV Testing, Home Ownership Month, Iced Tea Month, Music Appreciation. Our dear Mayor came in second at the DJ spinoff. I'm going to clap to her later. Men's Health Month, Papaya Month, Pollinators Month, PTSD Awareness Month, Safety Month, Sickle Cell Awareness Month, Soul Food Month, Rose Month, Turkey Lovers Month, National Zoo Month, LGBTQ plus the others, Pride Month, and Men's Health Month. And that will conclude my report.
Thank you. Finance, Trustee Eves.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Thank you. Motion to approve bill payment memo 1448 and the total cash disbursement of $296,569.53, which includes the payroll for the period of May 29th, 2022 through June 11th, 2022, in a total amount of $146,756.81.
There's a motion. Is it supported?
Support.
supported.
Motion by Eve, supported by Dunlap. Roll call.
Eves,
Yes.
Dunlap,
Yes.
Blakey,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Also, I would like to remind the residents that there is time to apply for the Southland Regional Mayoral Black Caucus Scholarship. The deadline date is July 15th. This application is for students seeking an undergraduate degree. Applicants should be an accepted student at an accredited institution of higher learning to include community colleges, private institutions, and certified vocational training programs. You can email the Southland Regional Mayoral Black Caucus Scholarship Selection Committee at southlandregionalmayorsbc@yahoo.com. There are also applications posted at the village, in the village lobby, and you can email myself at ceves@villageoflynwood.net. Lastly, I would like to thank everyone that participated and supported the first village craft fair. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of different crafters that came out and residents that came out and supported. The funding that was raised will go to support our first village scholarship for our high school seniors. And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Public Safety, Trustee Marshall.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just want to mention something quickly as we discussed it in our pre-meeting and talking to a few residents around about the fireworks, and that chief expounded on that in his report. The one thing people got to remember, this is not a Lynwood law, this is a law in the state of Illinois. It's against the law to sell, possess, and ignite fireworks. It's against the law in Illinois. It's not something that Lynwood is doing, but some people seem to think, oh, it's only Lynwood. No, it's against the law. And I just wanted to say that for those who might be here, share with your neighbors. Let them know it's against the law. It's an Illinois law, not just a Lynwood law. But Chief Dempsey is going to expound on that a little later, the reasons why, so forth and so on. That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. We'll move on to our department reports, beginning with Police Chief Dan Dempsey.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Lynwood Police Department now has access to 1,069 flock camera license plate readers. This is because every police department with flock cameras are able to share with other police departments. So this now helps Lynwood track any vehicle throughout the state. So that's a lot of cameras we have access to. A reminder to all residents, there is a zero tolerance policy for fireworks. Anyone caught blowing up fireworks will be ticketed and fined immediately, and all fireworks will be confiscated. There will be extra officers working the weekend along with fire department personnel and ESDA. If anyone has questions of the dangers of fireworks, I just want to give you a sample of the injuries in Illinois in 2021. Out of the 243 injuries, 50 of these injuries were between the ages of 6 years old and 16. There was 31 first-degree burns, 84 second-degree burns, 11 third-degree burns, 7 dismemberment or amputations, 1 death, 15 fractures, 6 hearing loss, 11 loss of sight, 25 lacerations, and 24 abrasions. So they are very dangerous, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. And I just want to remind everybody to call the police. If somebody's blowing up fireworks, you see them, you have to call us for us to do something. On June 14, 2022, officers attempted to stop a vehicle at 201st and Torrance for driving with a revoked driver's license. The driver of the vehicle fled from the police at a high rate of speed until reaching 394 Expressway, where the pursuit was terminated. The officers were able to gain a description of the driver that matched the vehicle information. On June 16th, the driver was contacted and turned himself in, at which time he was read his Miranda rights and admitted to being the driver fleeing from the police. Lynwood officers contacted the felony review, advised them of the facts of the case, and felony charges were approved for aggravated fleeing and eluding the police. The driver was sent to Markham in the morning for a bond hearing. On June 27, 2022, Lynwood officers attempted to stop a vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed, 201st and Burnham. Lynwood police activated his emergency lights to stop the vehicle. The vehicle fled from the police, disregarding numerous stop signs, but was finally curbed at 201st and Catalapa. I asked that earlier and I still screwed it it up, where the driver was taken into custody. The driver was brought to the police station where he was read his Miranda rights, agreed to speak with officers. Driver stated he was scared because he had marijuana in the vehicle and was afraid to stop. Officer contacted Felony View, advised them of the facts of the case. Felony charges were approved for aggravated fleeing and eluding. Driver was sent to markup for bond hearing. On June 26, 2022, officers were dispatched to 1990 Lynwood Road for a traffic accident. Upon officers' arrival, they observed a gray 2013 Audi flipped over on its roof. Officers inspected the vehicle, were unable to locate any occupants. Officers then searched the area for anyone that may have walked away from the vehicle with injuries. Lynwood police were contacted by Country Club Hills police, who stated that the vehicle in the accident was involved in a shooting in their town and asked for the car to be placed on hold. The vehicle was towed and held for Country Club Hills police. Crime stats, June 14th through June 27th, there was 97 traffic stops, 83 citations, 9 arrests, 6 guns recovered, 14 domestic calls, and 96 building checks. And I just want to personally thank the board, everybody, for your police and fire appreciation thing last Thursday. I mean, that was just great. Everybody enjoyed it. In my 27 years in Riverdale, the board never did anything like that. I mean, you guys always do something. Christmas all the time. And it means a lot to all of us. And it means a lot to me. I mean, just to be appreciated for you to do that. Because I've never heard of a board doing that for everybody. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that is the end of my report, Madam Mayor.
Assistant Chief of Police, Baldy.
Madam Mayor, on June 23rd, we applied for a reimbursement grant for our Axon body cameras in the amount of $49,736.91, which has already been paid for. This grant is through the Illinois Law Enforcement Training Standards Board, who will hopefully reimburse the village for funds if this grant is approved. On July 12th and 14th, our officers will be having active shooter training at Sandridge School. It will be the same concept as what occurred in Texas on May 24th. There's a representative from the Crisis Center for South Suburbia coming out this Friday to provide officers of available resources for victims of domestic violence. These resources include counseling services, domestic violence outreach and prevention services, as well as housing and court advocacy services. I'd also like to thank the board for our Public Safety Appreciation Day last Thursday. Food was great, and special shout out to Trustee Marshall for spearheading the event. And that concludes my report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Any question for Assistant Chief Bowden? Assistant Chief, would it be advantageous at all for any of the trustees to participate in the active shooter training, or is that just for police?
It's just for police
Okay,
officers.
all right, thank you very much.
But I'd like to add, if you want to take that active shooter training, it is called Detector County.
Director of Community Policing.
Madam Mayor. Thank you, Madam Mayor. The block meeting for Sequoia and Oakwood areas will be this Thursday, 6 p.m. here at Village Hall. The Illinois Special Olympics Cop on Top event will be August 19th. We will be accepting donations at Dunkin' Donuts located at Torrance Avenue South Trail. Please come by and see us. If you wish to make a donation, I am the village liaison for the Special Olympics, so please contact me. July 5th, the Bloom Township is hosting an escort of the Walnut Heels, which is a Vietnam Veterans Memorial Replica and Mobile Education Center. Lynwood Police and Fire Departments will be participating in the event. The vehicle escort will begin at 2 p.m. at Bethel Church in Lansing, which is approximately Clement-Lansing Road in Wentworth. And we'll be proceeding from that location to Torrance Avenue southbound, east on Clement-Dyer Road, passing our newly established Veterans Memorial to westbound Route 30, and then continuing on Chicago Heights, eventually ending at Marion Catholic High School. If you need more information for the route after passing through Lynwood, please let me know. The Mobile Education Center will also be on view at Marion Catholic High School from July 7th through the 10th. And then I'm very excited to announce that we will be having our first National Night Out, which illustrates the police and community partnerships. This will be August 2nd from 5 to 8 p.m. at Liberty Memorial Park. We will have food, drinks, a bounce house for kids, raffle, and music. We will also be using this event as a free back-to-school supply giveaway for the kids in our area. So if you or anyone you know wishes to donate to the event, please let me know. And That's my report.
Thank you. Fire Chief Newton.
Yes, Madam Mayor. I'll start with the call stats from 6/12 through 6/25. We had a total of 69 fire calls. None of them, for the very first time, have been fire-related. We have 57 that were medical calls. 1 we were dispatched and canceled en route. 4 motor vehicle accidents, 1 gas leak, 1 smoke scare, it was steam from a dryer vent, 1 electrical wire, 1 assist to a citizen, and 3 fire alarms. Last night, on June 27th, 2022, the Lynwood Fire Department was requested by Dalton Fire Department to search for a missing person that fell into the water. We utilized our drone to search the area, and due to the murky waters, we weren't unable to locate one. But we were able to provide overwatch for the recovery of the person that they were looking for. So it just kind of goes to show how our mutual aid with our partners, with our different departments, can assist each other when we have incidents that become more severe than just what one department can handle. I'd also like to thank Trustee Marshall and the rest of the board for the Fire and Police Appreciation on Thursday. That was really, really awesome and amazing, and I can't thank you enough. I mean, it's a great morale event, so I know you're hearing it for the 4th time, but I want to mention that as well. Not last Saturday, but the Saturday prior, we had the South Suburbs had, sponsored by Prairie State College, a fire EMS camp. We had 2 Lynwood residents that attended the camp. One was 14 years old and the other one was 6 years old. I was actually there. But we did get 1 application into the fire department from that camp. So this is just one way that the South Suburbs is trying to draw interest into the fire and EMS service. I was there as an instructor, helping teach these kids how to raise ladders, and I also did a drone demonstration at this camp. This kind of leads into our staffing update. So, you know, for those of you that are wanting to do something for the village, and you don't always have to be strategic. You can look at doing more kind of or tactical things like being able to support the fire department or emergency management services. You can do this as a paid-on-call firefighter, or you can talk with the police department about joining NESDA. But I hear a lot of people that want to get involved with the village and do more. Well, there are opportunities to do more, and it doesn't just have to be through a committee, but actually by providing safety for fellow public safety responders or helping with the actual fire department itself. With that said, at least 2 people will be starting the academy this fall, and hoping to get 1 more. We also have another application in for a lateral transfer. We are recruiting for new firefighters, so if you're looking to start a career in the fire service, or if you just want to serve your community and just help out, as long as you can pass the medical screening, background check, and agility test, we'll train you. We'll send you to the academy, and we'll make you an EMT, and we'll make you a productive member of the fire department. Also, I'd like to remind everybody that we have the ambulance service RFP that is currently out. The goal is to make a decision by July 1st. We have 2 responses so far, and we hope to begin the contract on September 1st of this year. And then lastly, our residential smoke detector program. Again, that's ongoing. If you have a home that's 30 plus years of age or 20, 25, whatever it may be, if you're questioning if your smoke detectors are working properly, we'll come out, we'll check them, we'll inspect them, and if it makes sense, we'll go ahead and give you replacements as well. Madam Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Chief. Village Engineer Dave Schilling.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things. We did finish up after going back and forth with the Franciscans for a couple of weeks to determine what exactly their limits are. We did finish up that plat of annexation. So along with that one and the one along Joe Orr on the other side of 394, we'll send those down to the county later this week to get recorded and Lynwood can officially grow. We've also in the past couple weeks have helped the water department finish up the consumer confidence reports, and I believe those went out in the water bills. And lastly, I received from Rally Homes for Wellington Court the next round of plans so they can continue building and building their roads and get more houses in. All good things.
Dave, I want to say thank you for all of your assistance on getting the CCR report out when we came into office. We were several years behind with reporting, and Dave Schilling, along with his team, played an instrumental role in pulling together data that allowed us to be current, and so we are officially current. And the EPA is very happy, so I really appreciate you and your team. Please tell Bill I said
Yes.
special thank you to him.
Bill has been a water operator for decades. He certainly knows what he's doing.
Yes. Finance, Kimberly Swift.
Thank you, Mayor. Just an update on the audit. We switched audit firms from Whiffley to GW and Associates. GW and Associates reached out to Whiffley to review prior audit work papers to help them prepare for the fiscal year 21 audit. Hopefully the audit will be completed by the end of August. And that completes my report.
Ms. Hurley?
Yes, Madam Mayor. The number of permits issued from the dates June 15th through June 28th, 41 permits with a permit fee total of $7,271. We're currently set to issue 27 permits by Thursday. I want to remind the residents that when you are in receipt of your permit, please make sure to display the permit in the front of your window, in front of your home, while the work is being performed. And lastly, want to inform residents that there are 3 Comcast permits that are about to be issued, and the locations are as follows. Billstone Drive, Preston Lane, and Hampshire Lane is 1 permit. 3215 East Lincoln Highway is another permit. And 201st Place at the rear of Arroyo Avenue to 201st Place to 198th Street. So if you see work being performed there by Comcast or their subcontractors, we wanted to let you know that they are permitted to do so. If you have any additional questions or concerns, you may call us to the office at 708-758-6101. That's the end of my report, Madam Mayor.
Can you repeat the number one more time? All right. Attorney Coyle?
No reports.
There you go. Madam Clerk?
Yes, I just want to report that our village vehicle stickers are currently on sale. So if you haven't purchased yours yet, please get it as soon as possible. Consider yourself lucky because the police are out and they are writing tickets as we speak. So please display your stickers on your vehicle. Also, if you have pets, dogs, the dog tags and alarm permits are on sale as well. Next, I just want to share that Boone Township is currently accepting applications for seniors and those with disabilities for grass cutting services. So if you know any seniors that need a grass cut, please have them contact Boone Township for more information. And then lastly, I just wanted to remind all Lynwood business owners to please come to the office and pick up your business license. The current license that they have displayed has expired, and that's expired on April 30th. So I have several licenses still in the office that need to be picked up. So that would be it.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right. I want to say thank you to the board for supporting South Suburban Mayors and Managers Association with their first annual gala. I understand it was a great success. I was saddened by the fact that I could not join you, but I was too busy enjoying myself on vacation, so I didn't really miss you.
I'd like to know, we didn't vote for her to go on vacation.
Right.
Make the hurt go far.
It did not in this case. I want to say thank you to Trustee Blakey, Trustee Lilly, Trustee Eves for supporting me on Friday night at the Black Mayor's Caucus DJ battle. We were raising funds for our scholarship that Trustee Eves mentioned earlier. We were able to raise over $8,000 on Friday night, and all of those monies will go towards young people in every mayor's municipality who's headed off to college. If you know of any young person in Lynwood, please encourage them to apply. This is free money. My understanding is they cannot get enough young people to actually apply for these scholarships, which is a shame. But the plan is if we don't get enough from each municipality, then those that apply and are awarded will receive a higher award. So,
Mayor?
yes.
This is not for entry students that are freshmen. This is for if you're in college, period, right?
This particular one, yes.
Right, okay,
Yes.
got it.
I want to thank all of you for a successful Linvinia. I know I was completely stressed out on Saturday with the rain, but the sky opened up and it ended up being a beautiful night. Also want to thank State Rep Nick Smith for coming out and supporting us. A good time was had by all. Would like to remind all residents, elected officials, and department heads, I'll look up and not look at anyone in particular, that every Thursday at 6 a.m. we walk and talk. That means we're in the park, hanging out for an hour and doing just that, walking and talking. The whole point of us doing this every week is for us to engage the community, to hear your questions, concerns, and just to get to know you better. A lot of great things have come from it. Our two commissioners that are sitting in the audience, I met them at last year's Walk and Talk series, and I continue to meet great residents. So please consider coming out and joining us.
What time is that on Thursday?
That's 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
a.m. Trustee Marshall, yes. If you like, we can arrange a wake-up call for you.
Oh, I thought you were about to say a pickup.
No. I have a couple of thank yous. I received a call from one of our residents who participated in the Citizens Academy. She said that it was outstanding. It was an amazing experience. She was so appreciative of the work that the PD put into making sure, PD and Fire put into making sure that those that participated understood things in a manner in which we had not. And she did a special shout out to you, Sergeant Weinberg. So thank you. A few more thank yous from the family of Dennis Tagenhorst, who passed away recently and was retired from the Lynwood PD. Perhaps you sent a lovely card or sat quietly in a chair. Perhaps you sent a funeral spray. If so, we saw it there. Perhaps you spoke the kindest words, as any friend could say. Perhaps you were not there at all, just thought of us that day. Whatever you did to console our hearts, we thank you so much. Whatever the part by the family of Sergeant Tagenhorst. I want to thank Chief Dempsey and Assistant Chief Boldy for leading the effort in making sure that we honored the sergeant in a manner by having a tremendous amount of support from not only our officers but our elected officials. I know the family was grateful, and it made my heart smile to be able to walk through and remind the family that although he's gone, they're still a part of the Lynwood family. Alrighty, keep it going. This letter is addressed to the mayor, village clerk, and trustees. A short note of thanks to village clerk Karen Wingfield Bond and the Curry administration for following up on a promise made by Clerk Wingfield Bond under the previous administration for obtaining and planting tall oak trees on the parkway under a grant to replace trees that were cut down because of blight. The loss of these 5 trees, I felt, severely lowered the street appeal of my house on 201st and Lake Park. Several years before, I had smaller oak trees Ms. Wingfield Bond had obtained from another source free for the residents, and they are doing well. 2 other thank yous to Mayor Curry. First, for lowering the closing hours of all alcohol establishments in the village to midnight. My personal objection to alcohol is very well known in the village. Second, for making the enforcement this year of no fireworks very visible at every corner of the village and making the high fine very clearly noted. As a Vietnam-era veteran and owner of a very sensitive older dog, I applaud this action as well. No one should be upset when this is enforced this year. Thank you all for working to make Lynwood a better place. And this last letter is from South Suburban College Dear Mayor Curry and Board of Trustees, some people make choices that change lives. Thank you for being one of them. Your generous investment in South Suburban College's Allied Health and Nursing Center will work doubly hard, changing the lives of our students today and the economic health and vitality of Chicago's Southland for years to come. South Suburban College has been a beacon of light in the Southland region for 94 years and has provided educational opportunities to the community for many generations. As the world continues to change, so do we, and with your help, we are rising to a call of action in a time of heightened need for healthcare professionals with the initiation of this historic campaign. Once again, on behalf of our college and campaign leadership, students, and families of our community, we wish to thank you for your expression of support and friendship. Gratefully, Dr. Lynette Stokes, President of South Suburban College. Thank you to this board for thinking beyond us and looking into the future and helping to be a part of shaping the future.
And I'd like to add, we have one of Lynwood's own who also works with Dr. Stokes over there at that college, and she is teaching. And I believe these classes are free. Anyone who would like to get phlebotomy classes, PCA classes, and medical assistant classes. Okay, and she lives right here in Lynwood. If you want that information, call Karen, I'll get it to her.
All right. Excellent. That is all I have. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Dunlap. Is it supported?
Supported.
Motion by Dunlap, supported by Clark. Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Dunlap.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries. This meeting is adjourned. Have a great night, everyone.